This video is brought to you by Sailrite. Visit Sailrite.com for all your project supplies, tools, and instructions. In this video, we'll demonstrate the 3/4 inch swing-away binder from Sailrite. This binder attachment aids in the sewing of binding on the edge of fabric assemblies. Raw edges of fabric can sometimes unravel, or they just don't look finished. Adding binding to the edge gives a finished, gorgeous appearance. You can purchase the Sailrite 3/4 swing-away straight binder exclusively from Sailrite. It attaches to the bed of your sewing machine, and then you feed a 3/4 inch binding through the binder attachment. The binder is adjustable via this thumb screw, so you can move it left or right. You can also move it fore and aft. We're going to position the needle to the right position on the Sailrite UltraFeed LSZ1 sewing machine. Now we can just feed our fabric assembly in the edge of the binder attachment, being sure that the fabric is pushed well into the exiting point of the binder. The entry point of the binder is designed to keep the binding from kinking, but that is not where you want to concentrate on pushing the fabric into the fold. It's at the exiting point that you want to concentrate on pushing the fabric up into the binder attachment. Here we are sewing some vinyl stamoid top material. When we get to the rounded corner, again we are paying attention to the exiting point of the binder to push our fabric assembly well into the mouth of the binder. The binding looks great. To test to see if we pushed the fabric assembly well into the fold, we'll take our scissors and cut the binding. You can see the white fabric is pushed well into the fold of the binding. When locking your stitch, the swing-away binder will swing backwards, so the binding will not become jammed in the binder attachment when sewing reverse. Only Sailrite binders feature a stop that prevents the swing-away arm from accidentally feeding into the presser feet when sewing heavy fabric assemblies. This important stop can only be found on Sailrite binders. So after you're done installing your binding, sometimes you can just leave the binder attached to the bed of the sewing machine. Just swing it out of the way and sew your normal sewing applications. Then when you need it again, swing it back into position. Outside curves are easy, but what about inside curves? Let's take this scalloped edge, which has curves that go inward and outward, and try to sew the 3/4 inch binding onto the edge. Scalloped edges are usually sewn with a zigzag. Sewing the outward curve is easy for the straight angle binder. But when we reach an inner edge or corner, it is a little bit more difficult. So what we can do is we can swing the binder out of the way and use our fingers and help guide the binding on the inward curve. Then once we reach the outer curve again, we can swing the binder back into position and continue to sew. Notice we are still utilizing the binder to fold the binding along the edge, but we used our fingers to sew it on the inner curve. Now we reach the outer curve and we can let the binder do the work. A binder attachment makes it possible for you to sew binding on the edge of a fabric assembly without having to worry about the binding being folded neatly on the edge or the stitch wavering. All you have to do is guide the fabric assembly well into the fold at the exiting point of the binder attachment. Will this binder fit on your sewing machine? Most sewing machines have 2 threaded holes to the right of the presser foot. Those threaded holes are for attachments. If the hole closest to the presser foot is between 1 3/16 and 2 3/16 inch away from your presser foot, then it is likely that the binder may fit your sewing machine. Order the Sailrite 3/4 inch swing-away straight binder that's exclusively sold at Sailrite today.